Hey guys, what's up? Vicstar999 here, and today we are doing the review of Majora's Mask. If you haven't seen my past videos, I am playing every Zelda game in chronological order. The last game I played was Ocarina of Time, meaning it is now time for Majora's Mask. If you guys are unaware, I stream these games daily as I play them, so if you guys want to be a part of the daily streams that lead up to this final review, go ahead and check out in the description. With that being said, let's just get into it. We are starting out with the controls. So, per usual, I did play on the expansion pack for the Nintendo Online on my Switch, so I was using a Pro controller. Honestly, after Ocarina, the controls were not that bad. I was used to them, no big deal, whatever. I would give them a 7 out of 10. Like Ocarina though, there were parts that could definitely be cleaned up a little bit, but the game wasn't made for the Switch, so no harsh feelings about that. For the storyline and lore, I was very intrigued with this game. To this day, as I'm halfway through Twilight Princess right now, I'm still wondering about different parts of Majora's Mask that I just have questions unanswered on. So basically, this is an alternate reality, a mirrored world of what was Ocarina. It is the same Link, and the people in this game appear to be other people from Ocarina, but they have different names and they're not supposed to be the same. The storyline follows Link losing Navi and going on this quest to find her, as well to stop the moon from falling and crushing all of this new town. So regarding this alternate world, this different dimension, I was wondering if this was a sort of purgatory, and I asked this a lot throughout my streams, and a lot of people were like, no way, it's just a different town. Some people were like, well, we could see it. It was just very back and forth. Like, there's no, yes, for sure, this is a purgatory. Link is dead. There is no proof of that. This game is all up for interpretation, which is what makes the lore so interesting. Spoiler for Twilight Princess, but the hero of time is in Twilight Princess in a way that we haven't seen him. So some people say that Majora's Mask is the death of Link because he lost Navi, which then led him to be who he is in Twilight Princess. I very much enjoyed the storyline and lore because there are so many different things that I was just like, this isn't what we're used to. You know, this game is a little darker. It was very off path. There's no Zelda, there's no Ganondorf, there was this Skull Kid. And this Skull Kid wanted revenge on the world because he was a tortured soul, which then began him stealing Majora's Mask and the game happening. The storyline and lore was so wonderful, and I enjoyed every aspect of the storyline. I thought it was so well done, and it was dark and creepy enough to a point where I really, really enjoyed it, but not like, wow, this is a kid's game, you know, like, I thought it was wonderfully done. I really enjoyed the ending as well. It was a happy ending, but once again, with the mask salesman and the ending, I was like, what? I could go on a day-long rant probably about the happy mask salesman, but in this game, I have so many questions still regarding him, but there are things that can't be answered. It's up for interpretation. It's up to different opinions, but he seemed to be almost a god in this game, or almost the person who controls Link and everyone else's fate. Like, if this is a other dimension, he is in charge. And there are different interactions with him where he lashes out, or his true side is shown, or at the very end, he's not moving, you know, normally. He's glitching almost. I don't know the proper word, but he's like stop motion. I finally have it back. Why does he move like that? Nobody has been able to explain that to me yet. And just different things like that. I'm like, what are you? You know, I have so many questions. I would love to give the storyline and lore a 10 out of 10, but I honestly have to give it a 9 out of 10 just because there were so many things that I was left wondering or questioning, which I know that made an amazing game and I love it, but there were some things I wish could have been answered. So just because of the storyline and lore, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. If they could answer my questions, I would give them a 20 billion out of 10. But just because there is so much left unanswered, I have to give it a 9 out of 10. The gameplay was very interesting as well, just like the storyline. To be very honest, at first, I was very stressed to play this game because I knew it was on a time frame. It was timed. But I guess I didn't quite understand what that meant in terms of this game. I thought you had literally 3 days, however many real life hours that is, to finish every temple, or you have to restart. That's how I initially thought it was, and I was terrified. I do horrible at time stuff. I just make silly mistakes because I'm stressed. Got on a good system of starting my temples on day 1 and then having a long time to finish them. I was never really worried about it. So just so you know, if you're worried, if you've never played and you're worried about the time aspect, don't be. I really enjoyed that the whole goal was to get these masks. So like most Zelda games, you go to each different region and you have to, you know, help out. So in this game, it's the same idea. You have to go and you have to get masks this time in each region. And once you get all those masks, you can go and fight Majora. The gameplay was very interesting. It wasn't too tricky. I thought the dungeons themselves were really well done. I did struggle with the Snowdin Temple, I believe was the name. That was the only one I really struggled with. But other than that, I thought they were well done. They weren't too much of a challenge. There was so much to do to 100% the game. I did get all masks, which made the gameplay easier because if you get all masks, you get the Fierce Deity mask at the end, which I'll probably insert a clip in here of how shocked I was at how easy Majora's battle was with this mask.
Is this fair? Is this fair? I feel like I hacked my Switch. Y'all, that was embarrassing.
Because people kept telling me, hey, you should probably get all the masks. The boss battle is gonna be easier. And I was like, it can't be that drastic. Holy moly, it was drastic. I wonder how hard the boss battle is without the mask. Regarding the Fierce Deity mask, I don't know if it was just like a very overpowered present for getting all the masks. What was the premise or the lore behind that mask? So I don't know if it truly was just a reward for getting all the other masks, or if there was something else to it that we just don't know, or I just don't know. I think that the gameplay, like I mentioned with the storyline and lore, was very creepy. It was very dark for a Zelda game, and like I said, I really enjoyed that. Like when you get to the moon, it is this just grassland and a big tree in the middle, and there are these kids saying, you know, are you a mask salesman? Are you happy? Do you want to be my friend?
Your friends, what kind of people are they? I wonder, do those people think of you as a friend? Can somebody explain this shenaniganry to me? The right thing, what is it? I wonder, if you do the right thing, does it really make everybody happy? What is going on?
I have so much I want to know about the game and about different parts of it that we'll just never know unless the creator, you know, ends up telling us. But I thought the gameplay was done very well. I would give it a 10 out of 10. I just, like I keep mentioning, the darkness of the game really, really intrigued me to points where I would just be like, Zelda games aren't dark like this. This is like genre bending. There were different parts where I was like, that's creepy, man. Like, even like silly things like the hand in the toilet in the inn, or like the dad becoming a Gibdo, or like I mentioned, the kids on the moon, or all the masks, for example, that you have to collect. The 3 main masks, even those, thinking about how they got them, or the mask that creates a reflection of yourself that looks nothing like Link. Just stuff like that. I'm like, what? So overall, gameplay, 10 out of 10. I want more like this. So now we're on to side characters and side quests. I don't know what percent I finished the game, but as I mentioned, I got all the masks, meaning I did do a bunch of side quests. I don't think I 100%ed the game though. I would, I don't know, maybe say 75%-ish, and that's being generous. But overall, I enjoyed the side characters. Like I mentioned, it's almost a mirroring of the characters from Ocarina. One side quest slash side character I really enjoyed was on the ranch, because there's a little girl who looks a lot like a girl we know in Ocarina of Time who is gonna get abducted by aliens. And it was such an interesting experience because I met her for the first time on day 3, and she was being very odd, like, hi there. Who are you? And I was like, okay. And then, you know, I time traveled and I went back to day one and she was so, oh my goodness, my name is so-and-so. You remind me of a grasshopper, whatever her interaction was. And then I find out if you don't save her, she becomes abducted by aliens. So is this version of her I met on day 3 herself a different being, like cosplaying as her? Like, the side quests, they just got, you know, they added more to the darkness and the creepiness of this game. And the side characters are so similar to the Ocarina of Time characters. So I enjoyed all of that. There were some new faces, or at least new to me. I didn't get as deep into Ocarina of Time as I would have preferred, but to me, there seemed to have been new characters. It was so interesting seeing familiar faces that weren't as familiar as I thought. So overall, side quests and side characters, I would also give a 10 out of 10. Alrighty, so in total, we have a 7 out of 10 in the controls on a Nintendo Switch doing the expansion pack. We have a 9 out of 10 in storyline and lore. We have a 10 out of 10 in the gameplay, and we also have a 10 out of 10 in side quests and side characters, leading to a 36 out of 40, which is a 90%, roughly an A-. Like I said, I wish I could have gave the storyline and lore 10 out of 10. I just had so much unanswered, which probably was the point. They probably wanted you to think and stay up at night wondering, what does this mean? And breaking apart the game. So many different parts just had me wondering and questioning what was going on, especially the Happy Mask Salesman. I want to know so much more about him. I started feeling sympathetic for the Skull Kid when they showed the scene of him, you know, hiding under the log and the fairies were coming to take care of him, and sympathized with him. I realized very quickly as I got past the Deku part, the forest area, that I wasn't necessarily as intrigued by the Skull Kid or by the moon falling or by the gods who were gonna help you hold up the moon, who were being imprisoned by these masks. More so, I was intrigued by the Happy Mask Salesman, the different phenomena going around the whole world. What was this world even? Where's Navi? You know, just all the different side aspects, or not the main focus of the game, was more what I ended up being more intrigued in. I was just more interested in those weird little things they just toss in there and then they just keep moving on. I was like, wait a second, hold on, can we back up? Can we back up just a second? I feel like I could honestly talk about this game and different aspects of it forever, and I can definitely solemnly swear that there are parts that I am just spacing on right now that left me thinking and wondering, but that's all right. I have been done with this game for a few weeks now. I played it after I finished Tears of the Kingdom, so my brain's a little spaced about, you know, different aspects I might be missing that I would like to talk about, just different things that I was like, what the heck is going on, you know? Overall, I would absolutely recommend this game if you can get a hold of it or find a way to play it. It was so amazing. Like I mentioned, I am currently playing Twilight Princess, so I did finish Tears of the Kingdom maybe 3-ish weeks ago, so you've probably seen me uploading that. But right now I'm working on Twilight Princess, so a review will be up of that soon. And then, of course, Four Swords Adventures. I've only missed out on one game so far just because you can't play it single player, so maybe someday that'll just be a random one I play that's not chronologically, but just to say I played all them if I can find someone to play it with. But other than that, I will be doing every game that I physically am able to play. So check out my playlist of playing all the Zelda games chronologically, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this series so far. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye everyone!